Alright, this lesson is 7-1B, Circle Graphs, and if you would, turn in your books to page 358, and I'd like you to look at the top, the very top where it says Vegetables, and we've got a situation here. The students at Pine Ridge Middle School were asked to identify their favorite vegetable. The table shows the results of the survey. Explain how you know that each student selected only one favorite vegetable. Well, if you think about it, if you look at 4 different categories, you know each of their percents. Think about how you would know that each student only selected one. Well, the answer is if you add up all those percents, 45, 23, 17, and 15%, you'll get 100%. So therefore, they each only cast one vote. So that would be the answer to number 1, that the percents add up to 100%. If it was over, you'd know that somebody had voted more than once. All right, let's try number 2. If 400 students participated in the survey, how many students preferred carrots? Well, if we look over in the table, we see that 45% preferred carrots. And we know that there are 400 students, so we want to find 45% of 400. So there's that same situation like we did in our last chapter. We need to change the percent to a decimal, move the decimal back 2 spaces to the left. We know of means to multiply, 0.45 times 400. So like you can multiply that out, and when you multiply, you'll get 180 students, which makes sense because if 400 is the total and you want 45%, that's close to half. And 180 is close to 1/2, which would be the 200. 180 is just a little bit less. All right, let's look at another one. We'll turn to page 359. And if you look at the top, there's a question A about science. The table shows the present composition of Earth's atmosphere. Display the data in a circle graph. Now, I'm not going to have you actually make circle graphs. We did that in 6th grade math, and this year I'm just going to have you actually just take the information and turn it into degrees so that you could make it into a circle graph, but we're not going to actually make them. So we've got 3 different categories and their percentages. And if you think about, okay, we want to turn this into a circle graph, well, how many degrees are there in a full circle? There are 360. So if we're going to take nitrogen, and we'll turn that nitrogen, the percentage, I'll just abbreviate, is 78%. We want that to be 78% of the entire circle. Well, the circle is 360. So it's 78% of 360. So we change it to a decimal, 0.78, multiply that by 360. And if you multiply that out, you'll get 280.8. And you can just round that to the nearest degree, so we would round that to 281 degrees. And then we do the same thing for the oxygen. The oxygen is 21%. We want to find 21% of the full circle, 360, so we change it to a decimal, 0.21 times 360. If you multiply those together, you'll get 75.6. And then if we round that to the nearest degree, we'd get 76 degrees. And then other gases, we only have 1% of 360. So that's 0.01 of 360. That's going to move our decimal back 2 places, and we get 3.6, which rounds to 4 degrees. Now, actually, when you add those up, I believe you get a total of 361 degrees, and that's because we rounded up on every single one. So it's okay, just leave it for that at that. But if you were going to graph it, you would have to adjust one of them and take it down.